Classes begin today to help train area firefighters. The Boys and Girls Club of Southwest Missouri opens new additions to their facility.
Will President Biden and Senate Republicans be able to compromise enough to reach a deal on infrastructure? I'm Deborah Alfarone on Capitol Hill with the latest on the negotiations.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The program that helps firefighters continue their education is in full swing. This is KOAM News at 5. Labette Community College Fire School is currently underway in Parsons. It's where firefighters from all over Kansas can learn new skills like how to do everything a crew would need to do with a short staff and other life-saving measures like car wreck extractions and farm rescues. It's the 34th year of the program, but last year it had to be canceled because of the pandemic.
It's a lot of work. It's months of preparation and planning and finally getting to see it through and see it in action. It's awesome. The weather's great. So it's very exciting for Labette Community College to work with these departments to offer this training.
Firefighters from 30 departments across Kansas are participating tonight at 6. We're going to hear the benefit that the program can have for firefighters. The Neosho, Missouri Police Department announced today that Lime Kiln Park is closed until further notice. They did not say why, but those who trespass at the park will face prosecution. The Boys and Girls Club of Southwest Missouri today unveiled some new additions to their facility. Those additions total around 13,000 square feet. New features include a new tech and game room and some storm shelters. Officials say the additions were made because of long waiting lists of kids looking to join.
We are so excited to be in. We did get in December, and so the kids have got to experience it a little bit, and because of COVID and some other things, we weren't able to open it up to the community, but now we're so excited that we can share this great building with our community.
The Boys and Girls Club of Southwest Missouri is located at 317 Comingo Avenue in Joplin. Checking in with Doug Hetty. The nice weather continues, Doug.
Yeah, another pretty good day for us today. Temperatures fantastic. Highs, most of us, low to mid 80s, and we've had partly to mostly sunny skies. Of course, we've had these cumulus clouds kind of popping up during the afternoon. There have been a few isolated, random little showers out there, but most of us, 98% of us, have stayed dry. 98% of us will stay dry as we go through the evening hours. Pretty good Friday evening. Not too much going on. We do have a storm system to our south, which will start to up our chances for rain as we go into the weekend. Temperatures right now, mainly low to mid 80s. We'll slide back through the 80s, 70s, mid 60s a little bit later on tonight. The heat's actually going to kick in quite a bit as we go through the next 4 or 5 days. Also, those rain chances increase. We're going to talk about that here in just a bit.
All right, catch you then. President Biden today spoke with the top Senate GOP negotiator on infrastructure as they continue working towards a deal. The president has made major concessions on the price tag and on how to pay for his plan, but it still might not be enough. Reporter Deborah Alfarone is on Capitol Hill with the latest on where negotiations stand.
Protesters gathered outside the White House Friday, urging President Biden not to compromise on infrastructure negotiations. But that's exactly what he's looking for in his second chat this week with Senate Republican negotiator Shelley Moore Capito.
We need to make those investments today to be able to continue to succeed tomorrow.
During Wednesday's meeting, President Biden proposed an alternative way to pay for it, a 15% minimum tax on corporations. The goal is to target dozens of companies that have paid little to no federal corporate income taxes. The president has also slashed his proposed price tag on new infrastructure spending from over $2 trillion to now roughly $1 trillion.
He's obviously come down quite a bit in what he originally proposed, and hopefully they'll have more they can add to their proposal.
So far, Republicans have proposed only a third of the amount of new spending, and they want to impose a gas tax and repurpose COVID relief funding, which the White House has come out against.
Senate Democrats have signaled that they may go it alone if a deal is not reached on infrastructure. The top Senate Republican says that would be extremely controversial.
Let's reach an agreement on infrastructure that's smaller but still significant and fully paid for.
In order for Democrats to use the procedural tool of budget reconciliation, they'd need the support of key moderates like West Virginia's Joe Manchin. But Manchin has indicated he wants to see the two parties continue working towards a deal. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
House Democrats have unveiled their own $500 billion infrastructure bill that includes some of the president's key priorities. The CDC has released a troubling new report on adolescents and COVID that's expected to prompt an even bigger focus on getting young people vaccinated. The report shows the number of adolescents hospitalized with the virus rose last month, and nearly 1/3 required intensive care. Health officials say efforts to reach more Americans under 18 will be key in ending the pandemic. Facebook announced today that former President Trump's accounts will be suspended for 2 years, freezing his presence on the social network until early 2023. At the end of the suspension, the company will, quote, look to experts to assess whether the risk to public safety has receded. The former president called Facebook's decision, quote, an insult. Still ahead, the May jobs report.
The new jobs report shows the economy is recovering, but slowly. I'm Natalie Brand with which industry made gains and why some businesses say they are still struggling to find workers.
And next in Health Watch, a look back at the past 40 years since the start of the HIV/AIDS epidemic. The U.S. could see a baby boom this summer. It would come after a decline in pregnancies following the coronavirus shutdown in 2020. Pregnancies steadily increased from 2017 to 2020, but there was a 14% decline after the coronavirus lockdown. Modeling shows an expected surge of births this summer. The researchers say their findings suggest a link between the societal changes associated with the pandemic, like lockdowns and reproductive choices. A new study in The Lancet suggests people with a past COVID-19 infection may be up to 85% less likely to be reinfected, possibly for months. Researchers say their data examining antibodies will be critical in ending the pandemic as new variants emerge. Tomorrow marks the 40th anniversary of the beginning of the HIV/AIDS epidemic. More than 34 million people have died around the world since then. Reporter Michael George has a look back and what's next in this public health crisis.
For Dr. Perry Halkitis, the fight against AIDS isn't just his life's work. He's been living with HIV for more than 35 years, and he's lost loved ones to the disease, including his former partner and just days ago, a close friend.
My experience just in the last week is so real and so visceral because I thought that part of my life was over. I thought the death of my friends was over, and it's not.
Dr. Halkitis is the dean of the School of Public Health at Rutgers University. He advocates for research and treatment at a time he says the public talks less and less about AIDS. It's been 40 years since the CDC reported the first cases of a mysterious illness among healthy gay men that would later be known as AIDS.
Along with the death sentence, stigma defined what it meant to have HIV or AIDS.
Dr. Ronald Bayer's research at Columbia University focuses on social justice and ethical matters related to AIDS. He authored a paper describing what doctors experienced when no effective treatments were available for 15 years.
I think people tend to forget the sorrow, the difficulty, the suffering that came before that. We have made a remarkable progress. I think it would be a terrible mistake to forget the devotion of the doctors and nurses who cared for these people.
Currently, antiretroviral therapy helps patients live longer, healthier lives while lowering transmission risk. The daily pill known as PrEP prevents those at high risk from getting infected. Still, 37,000 people are diagnosed with HIV each year, and around 1 million are living with HIV in the U.S.
This is a disease that continues to exist, and one for which there is no vaccine, and one for which there is no cure.
Dr. Halkitis says just like with the COVID vaccine, the government, the medical community, and the public need to work together.
What the COVID epidemic has shown us is that there's nothing we can't defeat. We need to end AIDS now.
So no more lives are lost. Michael George, CBS News, Newark, New Jersey.
A new CDC study just released shows new annual HIV infections decreased 73% from the beginning of the AIDS epidemic to now. Taking fish oil daily while pregnant could boost your child's brain function over time. Researchers in Spain found babies who received the supplement as they developed in the womb had better focus, memory, and thinking skills by age 10. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, Fisher-Price recalls a baby soother following the deaths of 4 infants.
Plus, temperatures continue to warm up over the weekend, but also some thunderstorm chances. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it turned out to be a pretty good Friday for us today. Temperatures, again, nice. Low to mid 80s across the region. Plenty of sunshine with the cumulus clouds popping up as we have rolled into the afternoon. But in general, it has turned out to be a pretty good day. An isolated pop-up shower throughout the afternoon. You can see these are very spotty across the region, but we had a few little random showers out there. In general, it has turned out to be pretty good across most of the 4-state area. Now we have clear skies, not too much going on. If we drop south, you can see this little spin out across parts of Texas. That is our next storm system that as it lifts north, it's going to grab some Gulf of Mexico moisture, lift it into the region, and then give us at least better chances for some scattered showers and thunderstorms as we go through the next few days. Right now it looks good if you want to get outside throughout the evening hours. 83 in Nevada, 82 in Anderson, Carthage, hair cooler at 79 in Oklahoma. If you're heading down to Grand Lake, we're sitting into the lower 80s. If you're heading down to Table Rock, also lower 80s. 84 in Parsons, 85 in Chanute. Looks pretty good. 7th and Rangeline looking north and west. 80 south winds, 5 to 10. Humidity is checking in at about 52%. Through the evening hours, we'll slide back through the 80s, 70s, and eventually mid 60s a little bit later on tonight. But in general, looking pretty good. All right, this system that we are watching across parts of Texas, that's the one that will affect us the next few days. But also, look at our jet stream. Right through the Pacific Northwest, way up into southern Canada. So this is a huge ridge of high pressure, and that's going to sit on us over the next week. That's really going to warm us up. Now underneath the ridge, we have this system giving us rain chances, but we're kind of already in somewhat of a summertime pattern, very June-like, and this is really going to pop us into the 80s, well into the 80s, pushing 90 here in about the next week or so. Let's go through time. Let's go into the week and watch this little area of low pressure kind of drifts toward us. The closer it gets to us, the better chances for showers we're going to have. So this is Sunday afternoon. Still on top of us Monday, kind of passes by on Tuesday, and then it kind of falls apart. Then we get these other little waves that drop over the ridge, continuing to keep those rain chances around. As we go through most of next week, we're going to have chances for showers and thunderstorms. These aren't really good severe weather setups, but you can always get a severe thunderstorm warning with some hail with any of these storms, but we don't have any big severe weather outbreaks heading our direction. For us tonight, pretty much clear skies. Let's go into Saturday. We'll get the pop-up clouds in the afternoon, the pop-up random showers again. I think most of us stay dry for tomorrow. We'll start at 62, 76 by noon, high temp right around 83. Tomorrow night, these showers will dissipate. Partly cloudy skies as we go into Sunday morning. May get a random shower, a little better chance for showers widespread as we head into Sunday afternoon, but still most of the weekend is looking pretty good. All right, for us tonight, we'll drop back to about 62, 83, tomorrow 81 as we head into Sunday, but you can see 80s over the next several days.
Looking forward to those warmer temperatures, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Todd. For any girls looking to get into skateboarding, a Joplin group called Shred Sisters has been holding girls-only skate camps at Ewart Park. Camp's instructor is a skater himself and says he noticed when one of his daughters wanted to get into skateboarding, there were hardly any other girls at the skate park. He says by having these camps, he hopes more young girls will have the courage to give skateboarding a try.
Hopefully the skate sessions and the camp will just provide that growth of community out here to where then the girls don't feel scared to come off the bench and come out here onto the skate park. They can just know they can come here. They've got a family here, whether it's boys or girls skating or whoever.
Tonight at 6, we're going to hear more about the group and how it's helping young girls gain confidence in the sport. Coming up, the Labor Department's May jobs report. First, though, we honor a local veteran. Anthony Lockhart served in the U.S. Marine Corps in 2006. Carl Junction, Missouri native, was stationed in Iraq, and we salute Lance Corporal Anthony Lockhart, a four-state hero. Fisher-Price says it's recalling a model of its baby soothers after the deaths of 4 infants who were placed on their backs unrestrained in the devices and later found on their stomachs. The company is recalling its 4-in-1 rock and glide soothers, which are designed to mimic the motion of a baby being rocked in someone's arms. The 4 fatalities happened between April of 2019 and February of 2020, including a 4-month-old from Missouri. Newly released jobs numbers show the U.S. economy is bouncing back from the pandemic, but not as fast as many expected as businesses deal with a labor shortage. Natalie Brand reports from the White House.
At this Los Angeles cafe, the owner added new tables for the growing crowd.
Meatballs ready?
New data shows the U.S. economy is recovering from the pandemic, but slowly.
This is progress, historic progress. Progress that's pulling our economy out of the worst crisis it's been in 100 years.
The Labor Department Friday reported the unemployment rate dropped slightly to 5.8%, with 559,000 new jobs added last month. That's much better than April's dismal 266,000 new jobs number, but still less than analysts had expected.
I wouldn't call this a big miss. We're improving, and if we wind the clock back a year, we are much better off than we were.
The new jobs report shows notable employment gains in the leisure and hospitality sectors as states continue to lift coronavirus restrictions, but many businesses say they are still struggling with a labor shortage.
This manager at an apparel store outside New Orleans says she can't find enough help.
It's not like I'm asking for 50 people, I'm just asking for a few people.
Many businesses have blamed the shortage on expanded $300 a week federal unemployment benefits, but economic experts say there are other factors.
This combination of people being skittish because of the virus for themselves, childcare issues, and these unemployment benefits have combined to make people less likely to be in the labor force at this moment.
More than 24 states have announced they're ending extended federal benefits, a move they hope will lead to more Americans rejoining the workforce. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
The report also showed that wages increased in May for the second straight month, indicating that companies are trying to attract more workers. Walmart announced it'll close all U.S. stores on Thanksgiving Day to thank employees for their work during the pandemic. The retail giant says in addition to the day off, it helped associates navigate their well-being during the pandemic with no-cost counseling and COVID-19 emergency leave. This is the second year running that Walmart has closed stores on Thanksgiving to give them back time to the associates. Final check of the forecast next. The CBS Evening News is next. Then on KOAM News at 6, a farm supply store in La Russell, Missouri is destroyed in a fire. Plus, we're going to hear more on the push at a Joplin skate park to get more girls into skateboarding. And it's opening night for the Joplin Outlaws. We're going to hear from the team before the game. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Checking back with Doug for the moment. The weather looking pretty nice.
Yeah, it looks great if you want to get outside, enjoy the nice Friday evening as we drop back through the 70s, eventually down to about 62, pretty much clear skies. 83 tomorrow, a few random isolated pop-up afternoon storms. A little more numerous on Sunday into Monday, but you can see our temperatures through the period staying pretty warm.
Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. Of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. In the meantime, let's take care of ourselves and each other and make it a great evening.